Quick impromptu video here. They say necessity is the mother of all inventions. So I had to engineer some shit. This right here is a small block Ford crank spacer pulley. Big block Fords, i.e. this one, I cannot find. Well, I can find it, but it's either ridiculously too expensive, or therefore there's it's very hard to find a crank pulley to adapt these to the bottom of the crank. Now they have them, stuff like that. But like I said, they're expensive. They're ridiculously expensive. But if you're trying to budget build and you're just a couple tens of $1,000s into your build, i.e. this one here, then you want to try to do something. So I took what they call a crank pulley from a small block Ford and had the hub center it and create this little doohickey of a gizmo to go to that. Now, I searched high and low, and I found a hub, a blower hub that goes to it, but that's just, way too much. So let's see how this works. I recess these holes to fit on that. By the way, the big block and the small block hubs for any of you Ford guys are the same 4-bolt hole patterns. The 4-bolt hole patterns are the same. So, but this one just has the old Ford 4-bolt hole, and it has the old Ford 3-bolt hole. So just in case anybody wants to know that works. And this is the big block that goes on the big block here. You might run into some issues with just a little bit of fitment issues. You might have to run like maybe a little emery cloth on the inside of this. But this is a forged crank Eagle 4344 steel crank. This is supposed to fit that, but it does fit. I had it on. It's really, really tight. Clearances are super tight, so just make sure it's lubed up and make sure you got it. So let's see how this little thing works and see if I can at least mate it to see if I can get it to work. All right, stay tuned. Okay, back real quick. I had to clean it up a little bit with the sander. So I cleaned that up with the sander a little bit. So let's see how this thing fits on here. So you have these 4 bolts. They go into these 4-bolt holes. So usually it's any kind of way, and they match up like that. If you can see those. Of course, I'll clean up these a little bit more here later on, but they match up in the holes. Camera's kind of off angle, but they match up in the holes. Okay, so that fits on that nice and snug, nice and tight, no looseness. And then these should recess to those holes once I line it up. Of course, you can't screw it with your fingers, but yeah, those go into there like so. And that's going to give me the 6 holes which I drilled, threaded, and tapped to make the hub-centric bottom pulley bolt. This kit comes from, this spacer comes from Summit. It's only like $26. It's a 1-inch thick. They have them in all different sizes. I have another size somewhere. I have like a 1/4 inch and a bunch of this one, but this one like kind of from the guessing is going to line up more, in and out on the crank to that snout right there. I don't want to change that snout because them goddamn things are super expensive. So I do not want to change that snout right there because they are way too expensive. So, but these, I'm gonna see how this works. Hang tight. All right. Kind of hard to hold the phone in. At the same time. Hang on, let me put the phone down. I got you. Okay, now. Sorry, I had to put the phone down for a second. Come on. But these are now in, and they're now, sub flush to this spacer. Now these 6 holes where I tapped them here, let's see if we can hook that boy to it, and then let's see what we got. All right, 1 second again. Okay, now seems like let's see. So far my plan seems to work. It's off, like too bright. So yeah, I think it might have got the job done. I think it works. Oh, let me turn this fan off. It's like I can't hear nothing. All right, I think seems like my job seems to work. So yeah, I think it's gonna be all right. I think it's gonna work there. What y'all think? Hit me in the comments. Tell me what y'all think. I upgraded the bolts to 7/16 by 20 because it's on the crank. I just didn't like those little 3/8 bolts. I'm pretty sure they were enough, but by it being on the crank, it's going to take a brunt of all the power and stuff. But yeah, man, it looks like it's pretty cool. Let me see if this crank bolt washer. Oh yeah, look at it. Would you just look at it? If I can hold the goddamn camera still. Look at it. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. Let me see what it looks like on here real quick. Yeah, it's gonna go on. I don't have the crank. I'm not gonna put the crank bolt in yet because I still have to get a keyway for it. I done lost my keyway for my 1/4 inch. This is a double key crank, so that's why it's not all the way back. But yeah, we'll fit. We'll go down to this base. Will go down to this right here is where it's supposed to be. This line. So yeah, it will fit. Yeah, I think it's gonna be all right. I think it's gonna work. Still waiting on bushings for up here, the cap for my drive rod for the old distributor, which I'm running the front facing distributor. And I went with the front facing distributor because I did not know what kind of clearance I would have at the time I was putting the combination together. So, but this works out pretty good. It looks good. I know when I had the key in it and was cranking it over, turning it over, it was everything was rolling in sync. Cap numbers in sync. This is the big 8-inch cap, I believe, 7-inch cap or something, MSD cap for the high power stuff. But I want to run this coil cap thing that goes on here, but shoot, I don't know. I've been trying to find one and I can't find one, and I thought I found one and the shit was high as giraffe pussy. The guy wanted way too much money for it. But I want to look for that cap as well. I like that one to just bolt right onto that. That'd be kind of sexy. So, but yeah, so for the goal today, I got done. I got this done. I got the hub on there, thing figured out. So hopefully this is not too thick. If it's not too thick, then like I said, I have another one, a couple more. And like I said, that hub, I'll probably try to post a link, but that little crank hub, if you want to do somewhat similar, is from Summit, which Summit is hard to beat by the record. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm paying for everything that you see here, but Summit, man, they got everything, bro. I mean, I got my heads from them. The best price I could find was them, and they price matched. I got my intake from them. I got everything mostly the stuff came from Summit. So shout out to Summit. Summit, give me some credit or something. Shit, I need some help. But yeah, pretty much, yeah, that's about it. So that's all I got right now. And one more stage closer to getting Project Ruckus done over here. So, like I said, like and subscribe. Hit me up. If you need any questions in the comments, put it in there. If I'm doing anything you see that might need help, I'm open to all suggestions. But I love this look, so this is what I want to run. So, all right, forward on forwards, we are out.